Welcome back to another episode of Lightsabers, Jokes, and More. We've been on a little bit of an extended summer break here. Our host with the most was pretty busy this summer and beginning of the school year, so we're just finally getting back into some podcasting. Welcome back, Tay.
Good to be back. So I had a big tournament yesterday.
What kind of tournament?
I had a Jiu Jitsu tournament for Naga. If you've done Jiu Jitsu before, then you may have heard of Naga. First prize is a sword. I did not win the sword, but I got third place medal by choking a kid out. So that was a pretty good day for me.
Cool. So this was Tay's first time competing in
Naga.
Quite a while. It's definitely since the pandemic, and it was his first time competing for Naga. So tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, I was quite nervous, and I really wanted the sword. But since I lost my first match, I didn't have any chance of getting the sword. But if I would won my second match, I would have gotten a third place medal, in which I did.
Cool. So how did the first match go down? Do you remember?
Well, I almost got the kid in in the seatbelt position, but he had an arm lock around me, so like a headlock. So he won by points, but so that's how it really went.
Yeah, I don't remember how you guys ended up getting to the ground, but you ended up in a position where he had like a headlock on you, but you were able to wrap your legs around him and get the hooks in. Pretty much all you had to do was pop your head out from the headlock, and you would have had his back. So that's definitely something we'll be working on.
Yeah.
But I think you lost like 4-0. It was like no big deal.
Yeah. The second match, I choked my opponent out in 20 seconds.
So give us the full breakdown on how that match went.
So we started out, and then he tried to take me down, but I sprawled. Like I had competed, I had Thursday before that Saturday, so it means the day before. Like I'm not kidding. Either way, I had done a little bit of adult class, and I used the technique I did in adult class to on the kid on my opponent, and dropped, sprawled, turned around, got the hooks in, got the seatbelt, pulled him over, and then once I had it correctly, choke.
Full rear naked choke, right?
Yep.
Cool. What we're going to have to do, we'll figure out how to edit a clip of that video into this podcast. That would be pretty cool, right?
Yeah. We'd have to get rid of this parts.
So how'd you feel after that match?
Well, yeah, it was really, that match I was excited, but the first match, I was pretty sad that I wasn't able to get the sword, but I was glad I got a third place medal. It was actually very fun.
Yeah, you should be really proud of your performance. You went through a little bit of adversity. I know you really had your sights set on that sword, and then there ended up being more kids in your division than what you thought there were going to be. So after you lost that first match, you were pretty bummed out.
Very.
But then you had a quick turnaround before the next match, and I was super impressed with how you were able to turn around and get refocused and go out there and get the job done.
Yeah. And this time I actually got a submission. I didn't just win by default.
That was your first submission win, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Rear naked choke, first submission.
Yeah, and yeah, it would have been better if it wasn't at Naga because where I would have just because the sword. But either way, I'm going to be competing in a lot more tournaments.
Best way to get good at competing is to keep competing.
Yeah, but the next time a Naga tournament pops up, I'm in for sure.
Awesome. Did you get a chance to watch anybody else compete?
Yes, I did. A little bit because I was ducking under a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. There's so many people.
I'm glad that I was able to go. I went to that tournament and competed because it was a good learning experience. I figured out what I did wrong, and now I'm going to use what I've learned from the kid who beat me in the next tournament I'm going to compete in.
Awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. Anyway.
Any other thoughts on the tournament, or are we going to move into new topics?
Actually, well, we're gonna move. How we move into some different topics?
All right, hit me with them.
So how we do?
We have like 5 more minutes.
Yeah. How we do? You know how this says lightsabers, jokes, and more?
I do.
Let's get into some jokes.
All right, give me some.
Okay. And some riddles maybe. What do you call a 3-humped camel?
I don't know what.
Pregnant. Where do mummies go to the beach?
I don't know where.
The Dead Sea. And another thing, another thing is, what happens when an ancient Egyptian wakes up from a nightmare? What do they say?
I don't know what.
I want my mummy.
Ha ha ha. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah. I got it from an ancient Egypt book. And also, here's a riddle. The treasure was great, but some were lost. Some were lost. He's the most famous mummy, but his age was, and his age was one of the reasons why. I don't have any rhymes, so guess who it was?
I don't know who.
King Tut. His age was one of the reasons he's so famous for how he became the king of the pharaoh of Egypt when he was 9 because his father died when he was really young. So that was sad. He was very well known, and his tomb had more treasures than any tomb ever. But some of those treasures, there were charts showing what treasures were supposed to be there. Some of those treasures were missing.
Tomb Raiders.
Yep. Anyway.
Any other exciting stuff you want to talk about?
Well, actually, not. Well, after the tournament, I went to the Old Bricks house. I'm pretty sure you've met.
Mm-hmm.
So, they had
friends of the podcast.
Yes, they have so many cool weapons. It was so fun. They had homemade bows. They had dueling swords, a shield, and a dagger.
Awesome.
So
I'm glad you had fun over there.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they carved them out. So I'm definitely gonna need to start wood carving.
Cool.
Anyway.
All right. So if people want to come train jiu-jitsu with you, where should they go?
You should come to 270 Main Street, Agawam, Massachusetts, I think.
Yeah, but what's the name of your team?
10th Planet Jiu Jitsu Springfield.
That's right. And if they want to support you by buying a Lightsabers, Jokes, and More t-shirt, where should they go?
The 10th Planet, forgot.
www.springfieldgear.com.
Yeah. Well.
All right, ready to wrap it up?
Yeah. This has been another episode of Lightsabers, Jokes, and More. So please make sure to subscribe, leave a like below, and enable those notifications.
All right, thanks, Tay. Until next time.
I will be back soon.